What up? What up? What up? Welcome into Pregaming TGIF. It's August 2nd already. Can you believe it here? Summer's cooking at 6 p.m. We are on our way to a nice weekend here, and we're going to get that cash. It's going to be a big UFC live stream tomorrow. Let's not forget that it's going to start nice and early, 12 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be popping off, and in the spirit of getting into the UFC tomorrow, I've got a PFL fight for you guys to get involved with this afternoon. Here starts at 6:45 p.m. I just realized I have a typo. I've been rushing around here this afternoon, so did not get a chance to go through all these graphics, but I do have the overall template here on the screen. But we don't have two PFL. We have one PFL. We have one CFL. Sadly, we took our first CFL loss on the show yesterday, but that don't mean we can't bounce back, and that, in fact, we will do. We've got action across Major League Baseball with the Arizona-Pittsburgh game, San Francisco-Cincinnati game, Baltimore-Cleveland, the Mets and the Angels, Philadelphia going out to Seattle on the West Coast doing their thing as well. We're going to have ourselves some fun. I mentioned that PFL starts at 6:45 p.m., so we will get right down to business today. It's Friday. I know everyone's got a lot to do this weekend, so got to get it all done tonight so that you have time to play tomorrow with the crew and get this money. That's, in fact, what we're here to do. So let's get to just that, you guys. First and foremost, we gave them an opportunity to get off that shit list. They did not do it. The Angels dropped it again yesterday, and there they sit. There they sit on the shit list. Priority number one, making sure not to be involved in Angels action. They just fail all the predictive indicators, all the models, all the analysis. They're just not good around the board. And I go back to something CMAC said, man, it's got to be a month and a half ago now, maybe. First fives only if you're going to play the Angels at all. And even then, proceed with caution. So they will stay on the shit list until further notice. And you'll see we are going to play on that Mets-Angels game tonight. So there's a little tip of the hand with where that action is going to be. Okay, let's talk about what we've got on deck here, you guys. First and foremost, know the deal. Hit the thumbs up button. Show support. Need your guys' help. Help build the brand. Help us get this sports money thing launching. We got all kinds of things popping out there. You guys already know the deal. We've got the Wednesday First Strike show going on the regular 3 sweeps in 4 weeks, 12 and 2 in our last 14 spots out there. Golf. We got the Olympic golf out there. Yours truly, and CMAC busted that out this week. We got, of course, our guy, JP's rocking and rolling out there, giving you guys another play of the day today on the website. Go out there and support JPZ. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up on the video for our guy. Let him know you're checking out the goods. We got a new guy today, a newcomer, rocking and rolling. He's been firing. He's been documenting himself all over X. He's giving these plays publicly. We brought him to the bright lights tonight, giving you guys a look out there from none other than Nordy's Picks, our guy giving you guys the Stunt Blaster play of the day, the first of its kind today, released out there on the website as well. And more to come, you guys. So just getting started. You guys already know that. We got all kinds of things in the works. NFL's right around the corner. We saw last night. What a bust. Should have had that win. Terrible weather. Terrible weather. Bookies got lucky on that one. They owe us one, so we'll put that in our back pocket and see if we can't capitalize. Besides the thumbs up, grab a pen and paper. You know the deal. Lots of things to write down: trends, stats, angles, analysis, injuries. What teams play better and, which ones covered by the run line versus not. All the goods being delivered here on the regular, not just from myself on the screen, but the sharpest chat in the game. And, of course, let's make sure that you guys put those plays out there in the chat. We want to recognize what everybody's on. We all want to get a chance to write them down and get this cash. We did cash that Egypt draw this afternoon, so that was a lot of fun. Nice little opportunity there. And let's see where the card opens up here, you guys. You know the deal. We're going to move fast. We got to keep a brisk pace. We got 5 games to get to in major leagues. We got the CFL and the PFL. And the PFL starts at 6:45. So I might pop off with that. But let's see what's going on in the chat. I got our guy Stacks. Justin McKelvey, the POD, likes them Astros over 7.5 for our guy Stacks, POD. Good luck, Justin. Joe T. Shout out to Joe T. I know he's got himself a little trip going on there. That's a big family deal. So we love and support you, Joe T, man. We appreciate you taking the time to come out and give us your play of the day out there. He's been running red hot, firing right now. I believe it's 10-1. 10-1, Joe T. 10-1 or 11. Geez, I should have this off the top of my head now. Busy day today, but certainly respect Joe T. The Blue Jays and the Yankees over 9 for Joe T. I know he cashed just now earlier on this Chicago Bears from NFL last night. The Chicago Cubs over got him home there this afternoon. So Joe T's been running hot, man. Fuck your under play of the day. The Blue Jays and the Yankees over 9. I like the name. I like the name. Juggler 23. Here we go. This is where you get the pen and paper out. Couple MLB trends. Minnesota's 18-2. They're up 14 units versus teams with a winning percentage of dog shit. Just call it a shit team, right? Shit team is defined by losing more than 58% of the time when Joe Ryan is the starter. So if you're thinking no teams should be in this minus 300 threshold, think again. In fact, I should have pulled the stat. These teams that are minus 300s or bigger, especially at home, are worth being minus 300. The win percentage is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I almost want to take the White Sox anyways. I almost do. I mean, how many times are they going to lose? What are they at? 17? I looked at the White Sox and the under. Hard today. Hard. White Sox under plus 550. I thought about just going right across the board with the White Sox. First 5 full game, first 5 under, full game plus 1.5. First 5 plus a half. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And then they're going to win one of these games, and I'm going to be pissed off. But that is the case. But there we go. You can see Juggler 23 says Minnesota 18-2 spot with Joey Ryan on the bump. He also has one for you guys. Favorites 20-33 in the last 53 games between Toronto and the Yankees. Down 26.16 units. Steam coming in on Toronto. Interesting thought there. There's Subhuman Gaucho. He's got a PFL bet for you. Of course, part of the dynamic and preeminent source for early MMA UFC information. First strike. Subhuman Gaucho's got this PFL bet for you. He says 1 unit. Tachiva versus Bishop over 1.5, minus 138. Goltsov sub round 2 plus 2,300 to win 1. Sub 3 plus 3,800 to win 2 units. I read that like shit. Let me try that one again. Goltsov sub in round 2 to win 1. Is that to win 1 unit? Is that what you mean there? Sub in round 3. Okay, yeah, that makes sense now. I got you now. Woo! It's Friday. TGIF. Put the brain to sleep for a little bit tonight here. Let's go, Juggler 23, you son of a bitch. Let's get this money, my guy. Let's go. Juggler 23 says, Sub, wow, you're really barking with dogs tonight. NJ Striker says, nice call on that Egypt draw. I'm like, hell yeah. Not just the draw, but the 1-1 draw. Plus 385. Let's go. Nasty Nate's in the house says, I'm ready to get some money. Goddamn right. He's the enforcer, too. Make sure you guys get that thumbs up button. You don't want to get smacked in the head with the wrench by the wrench. That's going to be not a good way to start your weekend out there. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button, show the support. Shout out to Nasty Nate. Juggler 23 says, here's another MLB trend. When Andy Fletcher's the home plate ump, the over's 20-3 so far this year, Baltimore, Cleveland. There's a good one. Andy Fletcher. I love the ump reports, man. You guys, the ref reports, the ump reports. I love that in hockey. You know, we had a lot of fun talking about that in hockey. A humble and gentle Mexican says, let's go Royals. Sub says, Juggler 23, hi, yeah. I think Goldsub can melt him late once Big Tom Johnson tires. Juggler 23 says, best look. I don't get involved with the PFL, but I'll take a shot with your selections. Vitalis in the house says, I get F by the Angels and then the dude. Yeah. by Dallas. It was like a shitstorm nightmare. Oh, and then by the way, on top of that, our CFL play got drubbed. So it was like, man, man, all bad things to happen out there. Juggler says, tomorrow, UFC card looks juicy. It sure does. It sure does. A lot of dog spots. A lot of dog spots in the main card, I think, too. It's going to be a lot of fun getting into that one there. Again, 12 p.m. Eastern start. Be there, be square. Dominic Walker's in the house. What's up, Dominic Walker? Let's go. Nasty Nate says they're taking the PFL bets off books fast. Is that the case? Is that? Yeah, so you know what? Sometimes these sometimes these circuits here. Oh, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna jump out of rotation here, you guys. I'm gonna give you this one because I don't want you guys to miss out on this one. I like this play here quite a bit. And I haven't given you guys any PFL plays on the show. So let's go. Let's see if we can't keep this streak running. This is on the old Steam report. It's Anthony Ivy. Opened up around plus 150, a dog for some reason. And Jalil Willis, familiar name, certainly, kind of interesting spot when you look at these two out there. Anthony Ivy, UFC opportunity. Strikes out. He doesn't strike out, but he goes 0-2. They didn't even give him the chance to strike out. They said, we don't want you for a third fight. 0-2 in the UFC, but he did get the shot at the show. Now he's on a 5-fight win streak. Fights with a lot of energy. He's a southpaw as well, which kind of gives that unorthodox stance there. You're kind of getting that hook coming in from the old left side. And strong wrestler. So, I don't know that it's a lay and pray type of fight for this guy, but definitely recognized for his wrestling. Definitely can strike with the best of them out there. And I just think he's got the best advantage. On the other side of things, we're looking at Willis. This guy's been all over the place. Bellator, LFA, now with PFL because of the merger between Bellator and LFA. But never really got a chance to sniff that prime time light spots out there. And this one's going to start at 6:45. So you got about 32 minutes to bop this thing in there. Now, this guy on the other side, Willis, definitely can fight. He's a welterweight guy. So, what I guess the big factor for this guy, he's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. He's going against a guy that's on a streak who's played in the bigs and trying to get his way back in there. And this line is getting steamed for obvious reason here. I like Anthony Ivy. I got him at plus 125 about 10 minutes ago. So very much alive in this thing. Keep an eye on it for live betting as well. We'll start this card off for you guys in the PFL. If you haven't bet the PFL, a little different setup. Typically fighting in tournaments, dealing with points, trying to make shit happen on the regular, not just looking for judges to make the decision, which is why I preface the wrestling and striking capabilities for these fighters. So Anthony Ivy, good call for Nasty Nate to say that some of these things do come down because I don't want you guys to miss out on that cash. Nasty Nate says 6:15, first PFL fight. Yeah, it's rolling on its way out there, so we got to get moving. I'm going to get some PFL in me. I want to play some of these games as well, some of this action with you guys. Oldies in the house, Winner's Circle in the house out there. Shara, Umar, Loopy, tomorrow. Nothing for today, but he's giving you a little action for tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's some great names on that UFC card as well. Oldies says, sub, hell yeah, good to see you, sir. Nasty Nate says, what up? Nasty Nate says, Winner's Circle. I think Dern gets it done. Obviously, Nasty Nate has not watched First Strike. Trans Canada's in the house. Says, what up with your mic today, pimp? Is my mic fucked up? I've been talking this whole time. Can you guys hear me? Uh-oh. Mike does sound like he dipped in his cocktail or something. Really? Huh. How's that? Any better? Is it my phone or his mic? It's got to be my mic, apparently. You guys let me know if it's any better. Let me scroll down to the bottom of the chat there. Somebody tell me if it's any better or not. Subhuman says, I agree, Nate. Carmouche missed weight tonight. Also, Red X on Carmouche for what it's worth. It's just not as crisp, huh? Yesterday the camera did that, and today the mic's doing that. Huh. Try this.
Good. Good. No bass in it, huh? No bass in it. I'm going to have to give the old, sounds like it isn't amplified. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's because it's coming out of my laptop.
Any better now? Better? Good? All right. Good enough, right? Let's keep rolling, you guys. Lots of work to do out there. And RVD420 says, what up, Monty Mike M? IB on DraftKings is plus 100 right now. Better get it now. Better get it now. Nasty Nate says, sounds like my phone speaker when I drop in the water fishing. No, go back to worse. Back to crap.
Better? All bad. Nothing's good. No. Better? John C says there's nothing wrong. Are you guys fucking with me? Can't be muted anymore. All right. I'm moving on. Get the closed captioning of this when it's done. I shouldn't need a new mic. I got a mic. I got a real deal mic here. Ain't no amateur hour up in this piece. Up in this bitch. Speaking of who got that cash with me today, women's boxing, no doubter. Let's keep rolling. Let's get this money. Let's keep it moving. Big stuff to get to tonight. Obviously, we're having some challenges. I think I just got to do a full flush on the internet here, you guys. You know, every so often you got to do that kind of soft or that hard reset, unplug everything, kind of shut it down for quite a while, and then try to figure out a way to go back after it. And that's exactly what I think I'm going to have to do. So I'll get to it. But let's get to this first game that I want to talk to you guys about in Major League Baseball. I'm looking to open this card up here. We're talking about the Arizona and Pittsburgh game. And not a lot of frills in this game for me. This one just comes down to the edge in the analytics. Maybe a reboot after the show. Yeah. That would be a good opportunity, right? Not right now. You guys don't want to sit around and wait and see if we can't creep this stuff in. Arizona Diamondbacks open up as a minus 134 road favorite. A little bit of movement down to minus 130. But again, I think this is course correction movement or line correction or line stabilization because the Pirates went from plus 114 to plus 120. So despite the lack of 4 cents on the Diamondbacks, we've added 6 cents to the Pirates. We have 70% of the bets and 72% of the money on the Diamondbacks. Then we look at the total. It's got an 8 that's moved to 8.5. 97% of the bets and 96% of the cash on the over. We got Ortiz going on the Pirate side with a 2.75 ERAs, 5-2 on the season. And Brandon Pfaadt, 3.92 ERA, 5-6 on his season. Breaking this one down, you guys, I looked at some of these totals here. First and foremost, we got the 2+ factor in play here. Teams off a loss or a 1-run win as a road dog. 30-5 to the over. If they had two or more hits than their opponent the previous game. A loss or a 1-run win as a road dog, 2 or more hits than their opponent the previous game. 30-5 to the over. So tight game. Adrenaline's jacked up. They're pushing hard. They're on the road. They out-hit their opponent. They should continue to cluster that following game and see a 30-5 trend to the over. Not the side that I'm jumping in on, though. I am, however, going to this Arizona Diamondback side. And I don't think there's any reason to look at this Pittsburgh Pirates team. Well overdue for regression. We've seen that they kind of had their best flip or their best stint really was last month. You know, they made some moves out there. Now, they did win a couple of games in a row, and these guys have just played. So it's second go-round. I know a couple of you guys and girls have said that in the chat. Second go-round. This is literally one series in between with Houston. Pittsburgh did win 2-1 over Houston. But the Diamondbacks went out there and whooped up on the Nationals, 9-8, 17-0, and then 5-4. It's no wonder that they got 2 or more hits than their opponent. They're just smashing the ball. They're seeing it clear. Even that Pittsburgh series beforehand, they were smoking that ball. I almost went to Arizona in the over. I opted to take Arizona. Just give me the minus 130. I've got a couple double dips in the spot, but not in this one here. I just took Arizona. Give me the full game. Jerry Davis has cashed first 3 and first 5 on the Pirates in this matchup last week. Juggler 23 says, Kelly D, I also like the Tiger pitching matchup. Kelsey's in the house. What up, Kelsey? Says, what's your favorite play of the day? Kelly D says, Cruz not hit. Plus 165 under. Pittsburgh under. Cincy. And there you go. Cincy good Fridays. Then lose Saturdays. Kelsey says her Club and Baby Seal play of the day. We'll get to that Club and Baby Seal. Mike, scratchy voice. My audio is all fucked up, Kelsey. I don't know what's going on. Ricky Bobby says, you like Arizona team total over? I do. The thing that concerns me about the over is the unpredictability when it comes to Pittsburgh. When are their bats going to step up and roll here? And 4.5 at minus 104 or minus 105 for this over. Not the worst look, especially seeing that trend that I was talking about. The average runs being scored in that trend for that road team. Let me see what that looks like here. Hang on. Let me magnify this graininess up. Yeah, I mean, they're blowing over this team total spot with this over trend that I was telling you guys about. The over on the trend is going over the number by 3 runs per game. The average number is 8.5. So suggesting an 11.5 in this spot, and the road team's averaging 7. So it does look like it could very well be. For me, it's just going to be an Arizona Diamondbacks spot to get me paid. And let's keep it moving, you guys. On to this next game. You guys kind of talked a little bit about this in the onset here. 2 spots that I like for this game here. I'm thinking about adding one. In fact, I am going to add one. This game starts. I went right through the Kansas City Royals game. No line movement, 38% of the bets, but 92% of the action or the cash on the Kansas City Royals, but no movement in the total or the number, right? So it opened up at even. It's still around even. No movement. Road dog suggesting Detroit finds a way to fire. The Brewers and the Nats. If this was the same series, we'd be firing on the Brewers. We would be. This is that 111 spot that we talked about. And it's not, right? They just played those Nationals. So, or the Nationals just played the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Brewers just played Atlanta. And it was a tough series against Atlanta. 1-2. Those last 2 games, they only had 1 run and then 2 runs out there. So kind of starting to sputter, which is what we talked about, kind of predicting. This team got hot and they were getting grand slams galore. Well over their numbers, skewed all their numbers because of how many grand slams they were popping out there. And they were winning games that they frankly should have been losing. And those numbers should have been taken down quite a bit. Now we should have been getting even money or plus money spots on the Brewers, not having to lay the wood to go out there and play those Brewers. So kind of waiting for them to stabilize. Nothing that really jumped out at me from that game. It was really a low game, a low traction day from a trend perspective. The Yankees and the Blue Jays, we got quite a few plays out there. The crew is loving this Blue Jays and Yankee spot. So that's a 7:05 start. I will say this. The line's dropping on the Yankees from minus 184 to minus 172. 90% of the bets and 98% of the cash on the Yankees. Yet it's dropped 12 cents. Only 2 cents of movement on the Blue Jay side. And you got a total that hasn't moved. 94% of the bets and 95% of the cash on the over. That line has not moved. But at 7:10, the San Francisco Giants, the Cincinnati Reds are out and battling in form tonight. And a spot that I want to get involved with here. We look at these totals, opened up as home favorites at minus 118 and considerable line movement for the Cincinnati Reds. This thing opened at minus 118, as I mentioned. It's gone to plus 120, full flip-flop, 48% of the bets and 49% of the cash on the Cincinnati Reds. So it's basically 50-50 with huge movement. The total, with 81% of the bets and 72% of the cash on the over, has dropped from 9 to 8.5. I don't know what's going on. Let me look at the roster real quick. Let me look at the starting lineup and just give it a once over and try to figure out why the hell is this thing dropped. Does anybody in the chat know why the hell this number's gone as far as it has. Confirmed lineup: Jonathan India, Ellie De La Cruz, Spencer Steer, Ty France, Stevenson, Candelario, Friedel, Fairchild, and Espinal. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't care. Give me this Cincinnati Reds team at plus 118. A couple things that I was looking at for this red spot, kind of first and foremost, from a side perspective here, the Giants have they've been auditioning for the shit list, by the way, the Giants. Very much trying to get themselves put right on there, thrust right under this LA Angels team. 1-13 when they're off a win on a line that's longer than minus 175 against a lefty. So in other words, they're not a huge favorite. Keep in mind, when I talk about a line being longer, it actually means a smaller number. So just the way the benefit of having a minus 175 works out in the equation. Against a lefty on a smaller line than a 175 after a win. That's how you end up on the shit list, by the way. That is shit list candidate number 1. You lose after wins. You can't back them up. Just when people want to start betting on you, you shit the bed. Plus 118, but I added to this one as well. Again, no changes in the lineup. I mean, look, Tyler Fitzgerald for the San Francisco Giants side of things. He's 2 at-bats, 1 hit against Andy Abbott for a 500 with an RBI. He hasn't done shit. I remember we had him for an RBI the other day. He's been hitting the ball well, but just not driving and generating offense, which is why we're seeing San Francisco losing games against Oakland and Colorado and every other bag of shit team in Major League Baseball. But the one trend I wanted to read off to you guys, here's an ad that I jumped in on here. I've got some intersecting, I believe it was intersecting zeros. Let me pull this up. Hang on just a momento. There, where'd it go? Intersecting zeros. The Giants 14-0 to the under on the road, a total less than 11.5. Starting pitcher, 5 or more strikeouts in his last start. Makes sense. Total's not suggesting a blowout. Starting pitcher did their job and shut the offense down. 14-0 to the under. And then Andy Abbott, 15-0 to the under. Total less than 11. Start where he went less than 8 strikeouts. So a bit of a bounce back opportunity for this guy. Both these two teams are averaging 5.7-ish runs per game in those spots. So I did add, and I saw this line moving as well now. The under in the Cincinnati spot there. Give me the under. Best number we can get right now, 8.5. Minus 105, BetMGM and BetRivers, under 8.5. Prime candidate for Cincinnati and the under, by the way. Let me look. DraftKings was the easiest model for me to pull these pieces together and looking at these same game parlays. But if you guys haven't seen, DraftKings is trying to pioneer the landscape here, change the game. Plus 290 is that Cincinnati and under 8.5 spot. Huh. You know what? No. I was gonna take that instead of the under, but I don't want to double dip on Cincinnati having to get the win just in the event that something funky went on that I'm just not privy to, and why that number has changed. Plus 236 for the Cincinnati and under 9, but I'll take the 8.5. I'll take the under 8.5. I'll take Cincinnati on the money line. Like I was saying, as far as DraftKings is concerned, if you guys haven't seen, for anybody that has, longer is smaller. Kelsey, that is accurate. DraftKings proposing a tax on your winnings. How about that? Not a small tax. Looked like it was about 6% was the projections in the models. So when you win, they're going to take some cash out of your back pockets there. And Vital says, how's DK stock doing after that? I don't know. That's a good question, but I'm slowly trying to migrate away, because if that's the case, I don't want to be any part of that. I'll go back to the offshores. Fuck them. It is what it is, but if they're going to be the pioneer, that means the rest of the legal books, like your FanDuels and your Fanatics, might start getting involved as well. And can't have that. It's just not good movement. Okay, Michael Blana says the line movement is due to the pitching change. Snell is pitching for the Giants instead of Harrison. Okay, that's good to know. Is it 3.2%? I thought I saw a mock-up where they were taking the $20 winner and they were knocking 98 cents off of it. I thought that's the mock-up that I saw. 98 cents on, if it's, I guess 3.2. I mean, look, 3.2 is no good either, but I could swear I saw a $20 winner. So $10 to win 20, and they were whacking the dude 98 cents is what I saw. But we'll see. To be determined. Hopefully that's not the case. I don't even want to speak it into fruition. Imagine, right? If you're betting $500, imagine that cost, right? Just bullshit. They're winning bet. What are you not covering your ass enough that you're got to start taxing people as well? They say that that's their way to keep up with offshore books and the black market, if you will, but seems foolish to me. Fanatical Jim likes goal stop by KO at plus 130. Let's move on, you guys. Let's keep rolling. Moving right on down the line. Let's take a peek at one of my favorite fade spots out here. By the way, stay tuned tomorrow to Sports Money. Be on the lookout with Sports Money. We have a road start for Toronto, and we have Berrios in that starting role. Projected. I don't know why they wouldn't start him. Feels like he hasn't started in a month, but he hasn't started this month, that's for sure. But let's look at this game. Baltimore Orioles, Cleveland Guardians. We've got Dean Kramer on the bump, 4.2 ERA for the Orioles. So they're 4-7 on the season. We've got the Cookie Monster, Cookie Carrasco, 5.68 ERA, 3-9. I would change my fucking name if it was Cookie. I'm sorry. I'm not going to pick on something the guy can't control, but now he's old enough that he can control it. And it's ridiculous. Stop it. When it comes down to it. For me, the Cookie Monster gives up the goods. He's 0-5 straight up against the Orioles. First off, right off the hop. Important to know. I had to get creative. I don't want to overthink this, but the best spot for the Orioles happens to be with the FanDuel accounts at minus 112. Big red flag for me. You guys know that. We've talked about it time and again. If DraftKings is going to start charging tax and I can't play on FanDuel, what's the purpose of having legal sports books? Fucking garbage. Anyways, Cookie Carrasco, when I talk about being garbage, when he is a home dog, he's 0-20 in that home dog role when he's not 3 or more straight starts, right? When he hasn't won 3 or more straight starts. So as long as he's not running sky high, red hot. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Cookie Carrasco is 0-20 in those home dog roles. He's definitely not on that 3-game winning streak. He's been puking up runs. And I chose to kind of dissect this one here. Look, we started off, we weren't big team total bettors, but we've been winning these team total spots. Damn, we won yesterday's Kansas City first 5 team total over in the first inning before the show was even done. Rolling it back. Baltimore first 5 team totals plus 105 for the over 2.5 in the first 5. The 4.5 is even money at plus 100. Fuck FanDuel and their best number out there. Baltimore probably kicks the shit out of these guys, but I think they get 5 runs against the Cookie Monster. He's averaging letting up 7.5 per game anyways himself. Those games and those losses are terrible out there. 5.68 ERA gets the job done ideally in the first 5 for us to get that cash. So plus 105, plus 100 spots out there. 2 even money spots to keep this card rolling for us. Juggler23 says, what do you mean by equals short Scooble the rest of the season? Not understanding your question. Oh, question in the chat. Giants Reds inclement weather delay. Great. Philly Eagle Flyer says, yeah, so only way to bet is 3.3% or better payout than any other book, which really never happens. Yeah, they're not offering the best lines all the time. They're very rarely ever offering the best lines. Just seems foolish. Maybe they got fucking waxed real good on those cash out early parlays. Remember we went on a stretch where, all you guys were saying it. We were all winning we all got fucking shut down on that thing. That's how much we were winning on that one. That was one of the best promos I've seen. They did it again the other day. They had the up too early promo just for the afternoon games. I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday, the day prior. So Kelsey says Giants automatically lose because they shit. Well said. They're going to end up right over here next to Mr. Poopy Middle Finger. And that sounds gross, doesn't it? But nonetheless, there they go. Ramon Scott says the Jays and the Yanks are in a rain delay. There's my guy, Ramon Scott. Make sure you guys check out the Morning Steam with Ramon Scott doing his thing out there. Yeah, I mean, it's shit weather. You look outside, it's been gray all day. It's been raining off and on in New York all day today. So it makes sense that we do see this thing being in a delay. That's kind of part of the reason why I navigated away from that game. I hate these delayed spots. Won't affect my thoughts on the Reds. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Onward and upward, you guys. Again, I was talking earlier about that Brewer spot there. If they were in series and between the 111s, they're winning. I think they're like 24-0 in those situations. So keep your eyes on that. But this is a new series for these boys. New opportunities to go. Let's move on to the Mets and the Angels. A big swing on down to 9:18 p.m. This line opened up as minus 136 road favorites for the Mets. 80% of the bets and 82% of the cash on the Mets. No movement. However, there has been considerable movement on the Angels side. Almost 10 cents of movement on the Angels side. So for what it's worth, there's no movement on the Mets. There's decent movement on the Angels. Then we got a 9 that's moved to 9.5. So we talked forever today about the key number being 9 in Major League Baseball. Bookmakers expecting to see runs, 81% of the bets and 83% of the cash on this over. It's Blackburn for the Mets with that 4.41 ERA and 4-2 on his season. And then Anderson for the Angels, 2.96. I got to be honest. I love my guy Winetime. I enjoyed hanging out with him down in Texas, and I love his insight when it comes to all things sports related. I'm fucking sick and tired of this Angels team. Not only are they a shit list, I don't even want to mention their names. I've got to be honest with you. There's only a couple of spots that get me this fucking animated and jacked up. It just makes me want to grab this bottle of Jack Daniels and just take a sip. It's how much I hate these fucking Angels. I've lost so much money with these Angels in the last 3 weeks, whether it be on them or against them. And yet there they are on the fucking shit list. Gets me, I'm angry. Angry about this shit. What does get me excited? When you got a team with a line that's 110 or bigger, in this case, the Angels, in a spot where they are starting the first game of a series. Last time they went out there, they were the home team, and the total is less than a 10 with no rest. They have to be on no rest. 4-23 is this Angel spot today. This goes back to 2016. 4-23 spot for this Angels team. That makes me happy. 6-21 on the run line. That makes me happy. 18-9 to the over. Conflicting spots on the over. When you were on the road, you're on the road again. You got no rest. The other team's got at least a day's rest. 9-23 to the under. That's a universal one this season for Major League Baseball, by the way. You're on the road. You were on the road. So back-to-back road spots. It's got to be a new series because otherwise the other team wouldn't have the rest advantage, right? Got to be in that situation. And then you go ahead and get that done. So 9-23 to the under. I'm taking this Mets team. I'm rolling in on this Mets spot. I'm taking them first 5 and I'm taking them full game. I don't know if it's my disgust for what I've seen out of this Angels team. I don't know if it's just the fact that I got to get some of this money back that they've extracted from my pockets. I don't know if it's just the fact that I like what the Mets are doing right now. They got Blackburn rolling out there. Anderson, fuck this Angels team. That's it. Not mentioning them again. We're done with this one. We're done with this game. But let's go on. Let's talk about this last Major League Baseball game. Then we'll talk about the CFL game that I've got for you guys. And we'll get everybody up out of here, try to keep things moving at a brisk pace. I did see some big trends on the Padres today, by the way, but if anybody's interested, hit me up. I'll DM them to you. But let's look at this Phillies game. My Philadelphia Phillies opened up at plus 100, now moved to minus 102. The Mariners opened up as decent home team favorites, minus 118, now moved to minus 110. Pros versus Joe spot. Everybody's bouncing in on the Mariners. Why? We'll talk about it in a second. We've got 64% of the bets on the Mariners. We've got 76% of the cash on the Phillies. Then we look at the total. It's at 8. We got all the money coming in on the over. 91% of the bets. 85% of the cash on the over. It hasn't moved. Trotting out on the mound is Phillips, the 1.8 Philadelphia kid. Loves them Phillies. 3-0 season. Going against Brian. Woo! With that 2.35 ERA, 4-1 on his season. I'm attacking Brian. Woo! Big matchup, big pitching square down here. Everyone's excited about this. 2 playoff teams facing off. Philadelphia's bats been stymied. We saw that going on that last series. But they did put some runs up there in a losing effort that last game of the series against the Yankees. Tough battles out there. They lost against the Cleveland Guardians. They go out there. They got the Yankees. They struggle in that matchup as well. Maybe what the doctor ordered is a little road trip. A couple late nights with the fellas, a little whiskey, maybe some cards. Maybe they shoot some dice. I don't know. Maybe they go out and try to venture into the evening, albeit I don't know what kind of evening you have out there in Seattle. That being said, I think it's a great bounce back spot for this Philadelphia Phillies team. You look at Phillips, I mentioned his numbers out there. 4 starts this season, but he crushed 3 of them. That's how you get yourself a 1.8 ERA. He's got a 0.79 whip on top of all of that. Now, new look Seattle with some of the trades and the moving parts that they had, especially bringing in a Rosarania at the trade deadline. But on the other side of things, we got he's got 3.39 runs per game at home. Plays better on the road than he does at home in that situation is what that tells me. And you're going out there with this Phillies lineup that's got to find a way to get their shit back together. At the end of the day, to me, pitching battle. Where do you find the best pitching battle? It's going to be a new spot that we're going to bring up here. I'll talk about it in a second. But then as you're looking at it again, basically just K rate factors out there. The Seattle Mariners home K rate, 29.1%, 4 points higher than anybody else in Major League Baseball. Should be a battle where we see Phillips go out there and duel, at least be competitive and do his job. And I think in this case here, there's 2 spots that specifically jumped off the page for me here. The first one, first of its kind. The first 3 under 2.5, minus 105. Yeah, I like that look. I thought 3.5s and 4s for the first 5, which would make you think that it's 1.5s or 2s for the first 3. We got 2.5 at minus 105. That was just a line value opportunity there where I think these guys do the job. Also the Phillies. One of the strongest numbers on the board for me is these Phillies. Look at that. Arizona's already on the board. Speaking of being on the board, let me see if I can find this Phillies number for you guys right quick. But 500 underdogs on the road versus a team returning home. We've talked about this one many odd times. A non-shit team, meaning they're over 500. They're a dog on the road, and the team's coming back home is that Seattle Mariners. 143-95 are those teams. 143-95. Perfect fit for this Philadelphia Phillies team, and trotting Phillips out there to go manage the job in T-Mobile Park. I think it's a good opportunity for him to get her done. Coin says Little League home run. Corbin Carroll back in the game, 1-0 for them boys out there. Let's get this Arizona spot home for us. Super early. Super early. Inside the park, Chili Bean, says a humble, gentle Mexican. You guys have the advantage of getting to watch it while I'm out here doing this thing. Nasty Nate's got nothing to say. Something poor to say. Who hasn't hit the like button out there? Who's not doing their job? You guys got one job. Hit the like button. I come through and scrub all this stuff down for you guys. We get it right. We're getting tight with these bookies. We got a big weekend coming up. Let's keep it rolling. Dominic Walker says, this may sound dumb, but does that count if you bet home run? Believe the answer is no. Believe the answer is no. But it'd be awesome if it did. All right, you guys, last game I got for you on the card here. We'll get everybody out. And on to their weekends. We're going to go back to the CFL. We're going to go back to the scene of the crime that was yesterday. And we got, I don't know. We got the Montreal team 6-1 on the season, 3-0 on the road. Montreal trying to give them hell. Then we look and we see the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I don't know what the hell a Tiger Cat is. A tiger is a cat. Doesn't seem like there's any need to hyphenate it. But 1-2 this season at home. Name we've all heard, Bo Levi Mitchell. Obviously not getting it done. Not effective. Hamilton is coming off of back-to-back wins. So I get it. At home, they're getting 4.5 points. I could see it, but when you look at those wins, all their wins have come against shit teams. Bad teams out there. They're not playing anybody of talent. And Montreal should be coming in here. Best defense in the league. We talked about this last week when we went out there and played on this Montreal spot. Won 8 of their last 10. They've covered in 7 of those spots as well. I'll lay the 4.5 with the Alouettes. I expect them to bounce back in this, or not bounce back. I expect us to bounce back after yesterday's straight up drubbing. Man, those guys coming off the bye, the other team having the overtime game with no rest or short rest, just got shut down. And today I expect us to bounce back with this Alouettes team. Just a situation where you got the best defense in the league, struggling team at home, a team that's been on fire in the league itself. Let's not overcomplicate it. Let's take the Alouettes in Montreal. 2-0 Arizona. Should have Ketel Marte. Write that dude's name down. He has been firing. Everyone talks about Vladdy Guerrero, but Ketel Marte has been unstoppable, man. He is producing and producing and producing at a high clip, but that is going to do it for us, you guys here. Last shot around the horn here. We got Montreal Alouettes -4.5. Anthony Ivy in the PFL should be starting in just a few minutes. Seattle first 3 under 2.5. -105. The Phillies at even money. The Mets first 5 and the full game. Baltimore first 5 team total over 2.5 was +105. The full game over 4.5 +100. Cincinnati +118. And then Arizona at -130 has already popped off, you guys. Short, sweet, to the point. Get you guys rolling. I got to do a hard system reset. Make myself a cocktail. Try to figure all of this stuff out and get ready for a big show that starts early tomorrow, 12 p.m. Don't want to miss out on this battle. Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia. Going to be a ton of fun. We got Sandhagen and Nurmagomedov battle. We got some great names across the card. Can't wait to hang out with you guys and get her done. In the meantime, good luck with your bets tonight. Make sure you hit that thumbs up now. 3-0 Arizona. Nice. Yeah. 2 days in a row. We're looking good coming off the show, you guys. Good luck with your bets tonight.